There's something most people don't realize until much later in life, and once it clicks, it changes how everything makes sense. Life isn't really shaped by conscious thoughts, motivation, discipline, or effort in the way most people think it is. It's shaped by the subconscious patterns running underneath all of that. The internal programming that influences reactions, decisions, emotional responses, comfort zones, identity, and the way situations are interpreted long before logic even gets involved in the game. Most people genuinely believe they're making conscious choices, that they're in control of their decisions, that they're deciding who they become and where they're going, but in reality, a huge part of life is being guided by internal conditioning that was formed years before words like success, money, relationships, or freedom ever had meaning in somebody's mind. The mind works in two layers. There's the conscious part, the thinking, planning, analyzing, goal setting part that creates intentions and visions for the future. And then there's the subconscious part, the deeper layer that governs habits, emotional reactions, self image, nervous system responses, identity, attraction patterns, comfort zones, and what feels safe or unsafe at a bodily level. When these two layers aren't aligned, the deeper one always leads. So when the surface level wants growth, abundance, stability, connection, or expansion, but the deeper layer associates safety with struggle, chaos, instability, or pressure, the system naturally moves back toward what feels familiar, not what feels better. That's why efforts doesn't always translate into change, why knowledge doesn't always lead to transformation, and why patterns repeat when awareness exists. It isn't a lack of intelligence, discipline, and capability, it's the identity and nervous system conditioning don't change through logic alone. Most subconscious programming forms early through, let's say, emotional experiences, repetition, environment, stress, stability, and survival patterns that were learned before there was the ability to analyze them. So when ease, stability, or peace appear later in life, they don't automatically feel good. They often feel unfamiliar, uncomfortable, even unsafe, because the system doesn't recognize them as normal. This is why people sabotage during calm phases, feel restless when life slows down, overwork when stability appears, live healthy relationships, abandon aligned opportunities, and feel uneasy in peace. Not because something is wrong, but because familiarity feels safer than change. The subconscious mind doesn't create what's desired, it creates what feels normal to it. That's the part most people miss. Real change doesn't come from pushing harder, forcing discipline, stacking strategies, or repeating informations that don't even feel true. It comes from changing the internal identity and nervous system patterns that define what feels safe, familiar, and possible. Subconscious mind change happens through emotional experience, repetition, internal states, embodiment, and identity shifts. Not through pressure, not through willpower, not logic, not force. So the real mirror isn't goals or intentions, it's reactions, patterns, emotional triggers, comfort zones, relationship dynamics, and the types of situations that keep repeating themselves. That's where the programming lives. When internal identity changes, everything else follows naturally. Behavior shifts, decisions shift, standard shift, confidence shifts, boundary shifts, and results change without force. Not through the hustle that a lot of people are promoting nowadays, but through true alignment. The subconscious mind is already shaping life every day through reactions, patterns, choices, relationships, and emotional responses. The only real question is, it's programmed for survival or expansion? Is it programmed through stress or trust, or fear or trust, scarcity or abundance, force or flow. And to be honest, my friend, this video isn't here to motivate you. It's not here to make you feel inspired for 10 minutes and then go back to the same patterns. It's actually here to build self-awareness and responsibility, because awareness only matters if it actually leads to change. If all you do is consume content, agree with it, and move on without implementing anything, then what's the point of watching videos like this in the first place? Understanding your mind means nothing if nothing in your life shifts. So if this perspective actually resonates with you, and there's a real desire to understand how the subconscious mind actually works, how identity forms itself, how internal patterns shape money, relationships, decisions, and direction, then follow me here on YouTube, because this is what I teach consistently and in a way that's actually applicable to real life, not just some random theory that you see online. And if doing this alone doesn't feel aligned, if there's a knowing that guidance would make the process faster, clearer, and more grounded for you, then there's an option to work with me one-on-one, where we go into the reprogramming process properly, dissolving patterns, rewiring identity, regulating the nervous system, and building a life, business, and reality that actually feels stable, expansive, and aligned with you, my friend.